Welcome to the Hot Rod Hangout Podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Ashley.
And tonight we got a special guest, Jeremy Carruthers from the Made of Steel show. What's going on, man?
Busy days of show prep. Trying to get some stuff done. How are you?
Oh, just living a dream, man. Working on cars and getting frustrated with them. You know how it is.
Every day. Every day.
So what got you into the crazy car hobby?
Well, I guess when I was young, I mean probably 8, 9, 10 years old, in the mid-'80s, I think my dad was taking me to Monster Jam, and I just fell in love with, at that time, big trucks. And then over, the next few years, he kind of moved away, and I went and spent summers and Christmas vacations with him from school. And, him just teaching me the basic stuff as checking oil, changing an alternator, changing your fan belt, checking transmission fluids, helping them fix stuff. Just kind of got me intrigued, After that, just getting in high school, and which was kind of the phase when mini trucks were coming around, and I loved it because it was, basically vehicles that we could afford then, and then kind of do all your own customizing, because there wasn't nobody that made anything for them then, maybe some fiberglass body kits or something like that. But I remember some of my friends making lowering blocks out of 2x4 pieces of wood.
The good old days.
Yeah, and then it just spiraled from there.
Awesome. So you're more focused now on like mini truck stuff, right?
I kind of have been all my life. I'm a fan of anything custom. I appreciate the work that goes into anything. It could be a dunk, it could be a hot rod, it could be a mini truck, it can be a lifted truck, it can be a tuner. I'm really just a fan of all of it. At the end of the day, we're all enthusiasts. We'll all do it because we're putting our pride and our joy into something that we love. And more so this day and age, it's kind of beneficial to our youth to get them all involved in what we're doing, because for one, it'll keep you in the garage, keeps you busy on the weekends. You might get a little attitude, you might become an alcoholic, but you're not out robbing somebody or killing somebody or something like that. So I think it's beneficial for everything.
And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because that's kind of the same. We're trying, it seems like, I graduated in 2008, and mini trucks were still real strong, right around those years. But it seems like stuff has kind of fallen off. The hobby has kind of gotten separated. There's kind of a divide between hot rod guys, new stuff, because it's hard for a 16-year-old kid to go buy a hot rod. It's, you still got to find creative ways to build stuff that's cool. And
it's hard for a 43-year-old kid to buy a hot rod.
I'm fortunate I have a couple, but I have survivor cars. They're not show cars. One of them will be at your show, but it seems like people have pigeonholed themselves into having to like one thing, and I'm kind of in the same boat as you. As I love everything. If you dig it, I'm cool with it. It might not be something that I want to own, but if you're out passionate about it, Tell me about it, because there's something you can learn from all avenues.
Oh, for sure. Like, I'm not one to trash anybody's vehicle for what they've done or what they've liked.
Mm-hmm.
However, if it is dangerous and the quality of work is not there, me and my friends might clown on you a little bit.
Well, but that's part of the car community. You gotta try to help people point out some flaws that they might not even know is dangerous. But we all did that stupid shit. I mean,
for sure.
Heat the springs up and bounce on the bumper until you get the right ride height. I mean, we were all there at one time.
You just cut them.
Or cut them and then heat them. That was my first venture into a mini truck, was an S10 that had the springs cut and heated. But
I'm sure that was a pleasant ride.
Oh, it was great. I don't know if you're familiar with the bridge on 301 just north of Ridge Manor, but if you hit that bridge at anything over 45, you were still bouncing at the red light at 50 and 301.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good times. But I learned a lot in that truck, You learn to embrace the suck. So, what's currently your favorite car that you own, or truck, or bike, or?
Well, I got one that I haven't drove yet because it's not finished being built. Eventually, that'll be my favorite one. I have an 04 extended cab, Cat Eye,
okay,
Silverado. It's just lowered a little bit, 24s. It's kind of special to me because we bought it when we had our son. Our son was probably 5-6 months old, and then we found out we're pregnant with our daughter. I was like, this little Blazer that we got, it's not going to be big enough. So we went and got this truck and had it ever since. I mean, it's a little beat up, but interior is clean. It runs fine. I really love driving it. Right now, it just has a BCM issue, so I have to order another BCM. I keep looking this way because I'm looking at it out in the garage. So I got to get a new BCM for it. AC doesn't work, windows don't roll down, so it's not beneficial right now.
Right.
Other than that, I just drive my Duramax every day.
So what you mentioned a project? So what's the project truck?
So I have a 2000 crew cab Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the actual 88 to 98 body style.
Okay, so it's classic.
Right. Well, in 2000, the only thing they made in that body style was a crew cab dually long bed.
Oh.
So this is actually, it was originally built by somebody, 3/4 frame, converted over to single rear wheel, 5 lug, and we put the short bed on it. Well, they did. When we got it, let's just say it wasn't really up to par, I guess. Well, it wasn't up to par for one, but two, some parts of it were kind of sketch. So it's at my buddy's shop in Alabama. We've got most of the new chassis built front to back, just waiting on the wheels so we can make the control arms for the front and know how much to narrow the rear end. So it's stock floor body drop on 26s.
Hell yeah. That's cool.
Still with the original 454 power plant and drivetrain in it. So
awesome. That'd be a nice little cruiser. Are you going wild with the paint, or you keeping the paint subtle,
one color? Not that I hate graphics. I actually really, really, really enjoy graphics. but just my personal taste, I'm a big mono two-tone color kind of guy. If it has some kind of graphics, maybe something in the clear, or I just like stuff real clean and real simple. So
Yeah, for a driver, that works out better because, rock chips, and then you got to try to fix a graphic, or some lady at the grocery store whacks your door,
exactly. And it has shaved door handles and all that stuff. We're actually going to pull those off, go back with door handles. I'm actually it's got a fully shaved bed, tail lights and all that stuff. I'm getting rid of the bed, going back to tail lights. Probably shave the gas door again. I want to put some kind of custom bumper on the back too. So we're just not to that part yet. We need to get a chassis finished, get it back together, and get the rest with the metal work after that.
Hell yeah. So, huh?
What's your favorite that you have?
My 29 Model A 4-door sedan that hasn't started.
Not the 54.
No. I'm in a love-hate relationship with a 54 Chevrolet 210 right now. He's fighting. I bought it, and it was kind of Ashley's first. She wasn't into cars. She was into cars, but she never had anybody that would let her be into cars. So when we got together, I was like, well, if you want to spend time with me, we're going to be in a shop. So either you like cars or, get a book, sit in the corner, because that's kind of my piece. And she was like, well, I've always liked cars, so let's do this. I was like, okay, cool. So I bought the 54. It was a Survivor, original paint car, low. I mean, it was slammed. And I was like, oh, it's got an exhaust leak. We'll fix the exhaust leak. We'll cruise it around, back burner it. I'll eventually put an automatic in it so she could feel more comfortable driving it. But for the time being, it got us to shows, kind of got her more into understanding why I do what I do. And I ended up having to lift the car 3 inches in the front so she could ride with me, because if not, it would dig a trench wherever it went. It's
right on.
Yes, that was when I originally got it. I was like, yeah, I'll just air ride the frame, and then it may eventually, if I keep it, it may get done, but it still has the original inline 6-cylinder motor, and something has shifted, so now it's really, really tight on the firewall, and without taking the motor out, I can't beat the firewall clearance. So we replaced the exhaust gaskets again, and I think it leaks worse now than it did. But she likes it, so I've threatened to sell it, and she says, it's my car, you don't sell it. So now I'm just borrowing.
Do you have her reading the owner's manual? Is that the book you got her? I'm joking.
Actually, no. Actually, the first project we did was we did a road or a electric glide to road glide swap on my motorcycle, and she had the Harley Bible in her hand telling me what wires I needed to cut and where they needed to go, and so she's my little book. She's my little manual reader, because I'm typical, instructions are just to light the bonfire of boxes that you buy. So
we'll figure it out. We got to get power to it, mount this here. That's how it works. There you go.
I mean, but I'd been looking for a Model A sedan. I bought a 32. So if you know anybody looking for a 32 body truck, I have one with all the repair panels to fix it. And I have a 32 chassis, and I would let that go cheap. But I don't fit in it.
One of our partners, he has a It's an all original. I don't know if it was either 29 or 32 sticking in my head Model A, but I mean it's all original.
If it's a Model A, it's a 20. It would be a 29 to 31. Well, 28 to 31.
So I think it's 29. It sticks in my head, but he has it just sitting in storage somewhere, just unmolested, all original. I'm not sure.
I've been looking for 8 months now for a Model A sedan, and I didn't have a whole lot of money, so I kind of was just, trying to trade, trying to use what I had. And I found a guy like, oh yeah, I can trade it. Like we can make something happen. And I'm still waiting. And then this one came about and I was like, okay, so that's, did we not post a picture of the 29? Anyway, so basically we, I come across this one. I offered basically everything I have in my yard for it to trade. He really wasn't interested, so I told him, give me the best cash deal you got. And we agreed on a price, and I went and picked it up. And it's a 4-door Model A 29, all original. I'm trying to find a picture of it, but apparently
I think we just posted the reels. We didn't post a picture.
So
chopping it.
I'm gonna get it channeled and then figure out if I got the headroom.
Okay.
So the internet won't see this, but
I'm blind. If it comes up big, I see it.
That's it right there.
Okay. Got squint a little bit. Forgive me for being retarded.
Nah, you're good. So basically, the plan is 512 Bowling Brothers frame. I have a 9-inch that was under the 32. I have a drop axle. Put it on there, small block with a turbo 350. Just making a nice little cruiser. It'll either be bare metal or white with some flake in it. Going one extreme to the other. But yeah, so that's our current build, and that will be my favorite car when it's done. But the 54, like I said, it did its job. I mean, it got her to kind of understand, because we took it on a car show. And we're pulling in to Market of Marion, and a guy whips around and takes a picture of us cruising in. And she's like, all those nice cars, and that guy wanted a picture of us. And I was like, exactly. That's what it's all about right there. And just hearing stories like people learning how to drive in it, or taking their wife on their first date in it, or because it attracts the older generation. So.
Kind of, I've kind of always called mini trucking like the modern hot rods.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff that everybody in the industry is doing is stuff everybody did to hot rods back then. Shaving door handles, Frenching, license plates, or Frenching the antennas,
suicide doors. Shaping. I mean, my dad, which is who got me into cars, he always says that everything old is new. I mean, it's just a different way of doing it. We, our generation cut the mufflers off to make our cars loud. They did the same thing. Like, it didn't increase horsepower, but it made it louder, so it sounded better, and lower blocks, flipping leaves, the wood, it's everything they did. We're just doing it again. But the innovators, like for hot rods, George Burris, Gene Winfield, guys like that, you know, Big Daddy Ed Roth, you know, they're pioneers. I mean, they were doing the exact same stuff that mini truck guys are doing now. And when I was in mini truck, it, you know, people, I think probably around high school, like if you had 20s on an S10 and you could lay the body on the ground, you were king. And now they're 22s, 24s with a V8 and laying it on the ground. And it's like that's, and I got away from mini trucks and then come back and I'm like, what? Like, no, you can't do that. Like, cause
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of guys from up here that were doing crazy stuff. You know, Justin and Howard Smith with that orange. Oh, I can't remember the exact color, but it was like Tangelo orange extended cab S10 with the zebra interior, and it was on a whole bunch of covers, and you know.
When I got into mini trucking, friend Justin Howlett, he had an Isuzu, it was called In So Deep, you know, and it was pull the carpet out, you know, you splatter paint the, you know, base of the cab, you splatter paint underneath the bed and the cab and, you know, the engine bay. And he used to roll around with 13-inch player wire wheels. And I remember this, like his first day I seen it, he rolled up to this club that we were all hanging out at our buddy's house, and he pulled up in some 18-inch billet specialties. It was like, whoa, those things are big. And it was really the first time I ever seen like big wheels. Like those were monsters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he had them, I think, a total of 5 weeks, I think. And he got rid of them because he said he's not low enough. So he went back to like some 13-inch player wire. Like, man, that truck looks so much better with the billets on it.
Oh yeah, and I'm a big thing on wheels will make your ride. You go to a show and you're like, man, if that just had the right wheels on it, that would be so cool. Whether it's big wheels, whether it's, you know, a lot of people put big wheels on like a muscle car. And I'm like, oh man, if you just ran some 15 Kragers and some fat and skinny combo, like that'd be clean.
I don't know, man. I got a buddy of mine that put some 20 and 22s on them, and man, they look sharp.
As long as, I guess as long as it's got some sidewall, I can see it. But like the rubber bands to try to fit big wheels on a classic car, certain classic cars. I mean, if you got a slab like a Lincoln or a Caddy boat and it's 24 steel wheels and you got some rubber bands to get it on the ground, I can understand that. But like muscle car with rubber bands, I'm like, oh man, you could have put some tire under it.
My buddy Sal up in the Destin area, he built a Chevelle called Shine Runner. And this thing was sick. I think it's 22s on the front, 24 by 15s on the back. That thing was stupid sick. He actually built a chassis for it, so it was on air, went up and down, had some power, had a 72 C10 truck dash in it. It was awesome. I think it was the only muscle car to be on the cover of, I think it was Rides magazine. He sold it, but he's building another Chevelle now, and he's got bead rolls like in the trunk, the floor pans, everything. I mean, he doesn't really not touch anything. You know, he touches everything. That thing, when it gets finished, it's going to be sick.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. They're doing some impressive stuff on some big wheels now too. I mean, guys on 26s running, you know, mid fours, getting down low fours on a rubber band. And guys, was it Boost Doctor or whatever, coming out with the Pro Mod on 26s? Like double frame rail, carbon fiber bodied car on big wheels, I'm like, the engineering that goes into making it do that, I'm like, that's impressive.
Sure, and I think that's where I can appreciate it more.
Oh yeah.
But being a new school guy, if I see a nice Camaro or a nice Trans Am or something that has some nice billets, that has some size to it, that matches it, I think it looks great.
Oh yeah.
You can have beautiful, Camaro, 68, 69 Camaro, but, if you got the little baby moons on it or whatnot, like it just doesn't have that
it
same.
Don't fit.
Yeah. To me, at least. And I think that's where some of the differences are. But, we had this show I did called the Unite Show up in Live Oak from like 07 to 09. There was a couple old timers that was there. And this guy says, I don't get into lowriders and trucks this much, but he's like, man, y'all boys got some talent around here. Because there's true talent building some of these trucks. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Well, we from the old timers and hot rods, we're shaping metal and welding and trying to innovate something and engineer something so we can get as low as possible, or just make it look good. Bending pipe, welding pipe. Everybody's doing something different. With bag mounts or link bars or control arms. There's people out there now building solid billet control arms, which is sick. I mean, it's sick, but it's, you're not building a driver with billet control arms.
No.
Like it'd be a pain in the ass to clean, for a show truck, to be honest with you. But it's sick.
Yeah, we more cater towards the get out and drive your shit type builds, but we seen, again, I don't know anything about hydraulics at all. I'll be the first one to tell you. I hear all that pumps and batteries and switches and it's really cool to watch them look, but there was probably 10 or 12 of them at Turkey Rod Run last year in November, and every single one of those cars earned my utmost respect because it is pouring down rain and them guys refuse to put their tops up and they're still hopping in the rain as they're rolling out. And these cars were beautiful, etched paint, just everything on the car. Anything you could visibly see was graphicked. Everything under the hood was etched and beautiful setups. And it started raining and I was like, oh man. And every single one of them assembled and they just started rolling out all together. If it had a convertible top, it was still down and they're smiling and bouncing and having a good old time. And I'm like, that's what it's all about right there. Enjoy the car that you built.
That's for sure. A lot of those guys too. I mean, the whole family pitches in to clean those guys, I mean, we had a couple of them come to Made of Steel. I think this guy named Angel's car. And this thing was, they touched everything. It had badass lowrider style paint. So all those graphics and stuff. I mean, it just went into every jam. It went into every panel. It followed through the engine bay. Followed through, on the bottom side of the car. But everything transformed. Like the fenders were hydraulic and kind of came out, and like it was intricate. I could definitely appreciate the work and the ingenuity that went into it. Man, it took probably 10 of those guys to get it out of the trailer, set it all up, set their display, clean everything, and the same thing to put it back in the trailer. So some of those guys, they do a lot of awesome work.
Well, it's a labor of love. I mean, they do a lot of work, but they understand that they want people to see it, and it doesn't matter where it's at; it needs to be seen. So I can definitely appreciate that, and like even the trucks, which we have two guys next to us that are neighbors. They have beautiful trucks. I think one's on 26 14s and one's on 24 14 wides. They're beautiful. It's a 4-wheel drive truck. It's jacked up. And they ain't got no sidewall. I'm like, man.
Just a new thing. That's where everybody's at right.
And again, like, the first time I seen them, I was like, I mean, before we bought the house, I drove by and I was like, oh, people I could hang out with because, you know, they're into cars. I don't care what type of car you're into. Just, a matter of fact, the one kid, he's got a F-350 dually, and he just bought a smart car, and I seen him last weekend. He had the body off of it, and he was spray painting it and doing the trim, and he's plasti dipped the wheels, and I'm like, man, it actually looks pretty good. Good job. But he got carbon fiber inserts in the interior and put a sound system in. I can't get it.
I saw a post yesterday. I didn't realize how low my phone is, so I gotta go get a phone charger. But I saw a post yesterday where they had damn it, my wife locked the door. They had like a little Tykes boat. I don't know if you ever seen them. It's just a little plastic thing you put kids like in a pool or something. I think I saw this dude put a trolling motor on it,
and he was out
and actually registered it. Like it had stickers on there and from whatever tax collector's office and everything, and you know, it had a picture of the guy checking the registration and all that stuff. And the post was basically they, you know, just was having fun and he didn't get in trouble. That's awesome.
Oh, goodness.
That's like the grind hard plumbing guys that build the little power wheels with 5-horse motors and, you know, built chassis and stuff to go race. And it was just like 3 or 4 of them to start with. And it was just buddies building power wheels, and now it's turned into a whole big thing.
I wonder. I got an iPhone and my charging port's been going out. So I got this little battery pack that does it. What do they call it? Magnetic
charging, yeah.
Charger. Yeah. And if I'm using the phone, that's about the only way I can charge it. I wonder if it fits in my little tripod deal I was just using. I don't know if that's well.
So before we get to your show, is there any show that you, other than that one, that you try to make every year?
Well, actually 2 weeks ago, I just got back from Southeast Mini Truck Nationals. That show is, it's in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. And that thing is unbelievable. You know, they can only fit 750 trucks in there. And, you know, there's cruises that people put together out from Cali and Arizona, Canada. They come from everywhere. And on Saturday, they call it the parade. So when everybody leaves the show, the people who want to cruise the trip or strip and stuff, they'll go, I guess it's west of town. And the police block off the road, and they get a police escort to come in through town. And then after that, it's just a party on the side of the road. You know, all these trucks just cruising. You know, you get to see in magazines or on the cover of a magazine. And they're driving. They're riding low as shit. Like, sorry, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you good.
And it's awesome. Like you really kind of don't get that anywhere anymore. You know, scraping the coast in Biloxi, you can do it, but they shut that stuff down at like 11 o'clock at night. And then I'm sure there's a couple other ones that I haven't been to. But I'm a vendor at a lot of shows. So I travel the country going to a bunch of shows. So, because all this kind of started with HotRidesMag.com is an online magazine, which we were probably third in line in 2002 when we started. You had SoCal Customs that did a lot of car show coverage or truck show coverage. And what else do you have? And layandbody.net was out, and I think Street Source was out then too. So we were kind of one of the OGs as far as, truck show coverage, online magazine stuff. Which then flipped into we started the Unite show up in Live Oak. In 2012, I bought my partner out, and because everything was just kind of sliding away, and so got it back going again, which is where Made of Steel came from. It's like, all right, we need to do a show. Asked my buddy Tank if he wanted to partner up with me, help me out with it, and that's kind of how we got going with that.
Cool.
Awesome.
So, I guess I was going to ask another question, but since you brought up Made of Steel, so tell us, the grand tour of Made of Steel show. How long have you been around? Kind of what to expect for a first time somebody showing up.
It was the 10th year, so big year for us. We're doing some extra stuff. I have a lot of awards. We do raffles and auction on Sunday to benefit Kids Cancer Foundation. It hasn't always been Kids Cancer Foundation. The first couple of years we did something to do with children's stuff, and we weren't allowed to really use their name. So we wanted credit to where it was going to, but it was hard to raise money without being able to tell people where it was going. Mm-hmm. So then we started, helping people out in our community that needed help. And Anthony Richards, he had leukemia, so he was in the truck world. His dad has a body job dually. He's affiliated with Aftermath, and the family was great. They were really receptive. They were traveling back and forth from the East Coast to Tennessee all the time to get his treatments and stuff. And one day just he was no longer with us. So we asked the family, what organization helped them out the most. That wasn't like funneling money in their pockets, and what truly helped, Anthony and the family out the most. And they said the Kids Cancer Foundation, which is down in Royal Palm Beach, kind of down by West Palm area. And they've been great, so everything we do, we try to help raise some money for those guys. They do anything from toys to their kids that are going through treatments or hospital stays. They get tutors for, siblings to help them go through school. They have rooms and stuff to stay for their families. If they're financial times, they try to help them with bills and food. And, we've done that every year, I think, since year 5 or 6, I think. And it's been a blessing, just to be able to have the ability to help out somebody else's life in a positive way. Now the show is for profit. I'm not trying to give a wrong message, but 100% of what the raffles and benefits go for is for the Kids Cancer Foundation. So
that's an awesome cause, and that's very admirable. We work with the Ryland Strong Network, which is his son died. I cannot pronounce the cancer, but his son passed away from cancer, and they do car shows and stuff like that for raising money and trying to kind of make the moments make a difference.
Yeah. That's always a big deal, and like I mean, I don't want to sit here and sound arrogant. We're kind of in a different category. We attract a little bit more people. Everybody that does some benefit shows that is purely awesome, and I try to help out and participate in any of them that I can. We're kind of a different animal, I guess. Like last year we had 827 registrations and about 6,000 people through the gates.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're also not a charity show. So, hands down to those guys that do it and invest all their time, for somebody else. That's a beautiful thing that they do.
Yes. Well, I mean, any way that we can help, because, I mean, cancer in general sucks, but especially little kid cancer.
Oh, for sure.
So,
I mean, I lost my sister to breast cancer, and then, it spread and went to her brain and all up and down her spinal cord. It's my grandma to cancer, some friends to cancer. Actually, I have a bar in Tampa, and my manager's husband just died of cancer a week ago yesterday. So it affects everybody in some sort of way.
Oh, yeah.
It's a horrible. And there's really not much that we can do about it, to be honest with you.
No, but I feel like what we can do to try to get the word out and try to help as much as we can is awesome. Even though I think that more could be done, but hands are tied with people that are smarter than me handle that stuff. So.
It's a whole different podcast, bro. You're going to get me going, bro. A whole different podcast.
Yes, sir. So, first time, if someone was to walk in, I know y'all have sound. I know the mini trucks are represented. What kind of a 20-foot overview? What I know some badass people are coming. I'm excited to see some of them cars that a couple of them got debuted at Mini Nats, and I wish I was there to see them. So I'm glad they're coming.
Right. Really, I mean, the basis of the show, and it kind of says it in the name, Made It Steel, is to get every genre of gearhead automotive enthusiasts in the same place at the same time. It's very, very, very hard to do that. Generally with some of the older crowd. And I mean older that, I want to say 60 plus. Just because, there is that, they're just, low riders, not into low riders and stuff. But generally when some of the older crowd comes to our event, they see a lot of the stuff that they even grew up with. They'll see rat rods. They'll see some muscle cars, some hot rods, some classic restos. You'll see mini trucks. You'll see like street trucks. Everyday drivers just build a little bit with some nice wheels on it or something. You'll see the car audio is huge, but that's we do the best we can to divide the car audio from the show side of things. So that way, if you don't enjoy car audio, you can just come enjoy the show, But some of that stuff that's coming in the car audio, I mean, they're putting in cruises from Missouri. One of the title sponsors, Wolfram Car Audio, they're putting on a huge cruise from Phoenix, Arizona. It's probably, just on the audio side of things, the second largest car audio show in the nation. It's definitely the biggest in the Southeast. But Slamology takes a course for that for car audio. But I mean, you'll get everything. You'll get, it's family friendly. This year we're introducing club games. We went to a third day instead of like just a Friday night and a Saturday, longer Saturday. Now we have a third day. You're going to see everything. You're going to see custom bikes. we try to do some activities for the kids and stuff. Like, there's something I call the frozen t-shirt contest. And some people think about it a little weird, but it doesn't have anything to do with women or, body contest or anything like that. We do a best and worst tattoo competition. It gets pretty hairy sometimes. And we really do a lot. I mean, it's a lot to do. We have a full staff that bust their ass all weekend, as well as myself and the 3 other partners. It's a lot. We try to have fun and enjoy everything, but we do the best we can to make sure that everybody walks through that gate has a great time. And sometimes you just can't please everybody, but you're always going to have that.
Oh yeah. So that is May 17th through the 19th.
Yes, sir.
All right. And are you still accepting registrations?
Pre-registration is closed on the website.
Okay.
You can get information on the website at madeofsteelshow.com. But basically now all the registrations will be day of.
Okay. And what is the cost for participants or registrations?
So registrations is $50, and that's for the weekend. That comes with 2 armbands. Okay. And spectators are either $10 a day or $20 for the entire weekend. I think kids 12 and under are free.
Awesome. Got to get the kids involved, man. That's awesome.
And I'm huge about the kids. Anytime we do the awards and I kind of talk a little bit, it's all about, showing the youth, kind of how to act at shows, act a certain way because somebody's always watching,
Yes.
It doesn't, people may not feel that you're in a teaching situation, but a lot of the times you are in a teaching situation.
Yes.
And you don't even know it, because somebody's always watching you. Just if we don't get the youth involved with what we do, there's going to be nothing. We're just going to be all electric cars. We're going to look like, Europe or Russia, where like all the vehicles just kind of look the same. I'm not dogging them. They have some custom stuff. Some of the, TV shows they have, but that's nothing on the side of what we do.
Yeah.
You go into Japan and you see some crazy shit there.
Oh, and all places have a little subsect of cool, Europe. I work with a guy that just got back from Hungary, and he was showing pictures of like hot rods that we would be like oogling over, and they're just driving them around like nothing. Like it's just an everyday. Oh yeah, this is my daily, and I'm like, what? Like that's big blower cars and like shit that wouldn't pass, but they're just out enjoying their shit because it's exempt. It's too old to matter. I still think he's a secret agent or something though, because he'll like every once in a while he'll drop car knowledge, and I'm like, "You're a car guy?" No, I'm like, okay, yeah, you got a little bit in you somewhere, but he brought 2 cars over. A Skoda and something else, some little tiny cars, and he was looking at a Model A the other day, and I'm like, man, if you're looking at a original 4-banger Model A, you're a car guy. Trust me, you got to at least have some knowledge.
Well, did you see that little, the John Cena car? I forget what it is, but it's a British car, that extensive build on Texas Metal.
I don't think so.
They built it's an MG.
Oh,
MG.
okay. And
them dudes, like, I think they split the car, stretched it a little.
They're going to have to. John Cena's a big boy.
Yeah, he is. And, that episode was dope. But then, I've seen that car a couple times in Texas and scraping the coast of Mississippi. That car is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Like even just a European car, but it's a beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, definitely. So what is one piece of advice that you would give someone trying to get into this car culture?
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Very good.
You know, because it's like, I don't weld, don't know how to weld. You know, I worked at a concrete fab shop, or a concrete plant fab shop, when I was 18, but my buddy I grew up with, his family owned it. So I just kind of lay out and fit. Like, I can't even tack something. I could probably figure out how to tack something, but just never got to that point. Using torches or laying out something or coping something, like, I can do all that stuff. But, you know, I'm kind of more of a thinking mind, where I'd rather try to design something and how does it work. You know, so the whole aspect of built, not bought, like, that's, I don't know. I just don't like that saying. You know, a lot of people say it because they can, but then some people shouldn't build their own stuff. Like me, I should never touch a welder. And some people need that.
I think at a lot of times, a lot of the catchphrases get misconstrued because, you know, there's stuff that you have to accept. Like, I can't do that. Like you said, you can't weld. So you're not going to go build a chassis, but you can have it built and then assemble the car on top of it, or the truck or bike or whatever it is. You know, it's your ideas. So it's really not, I mean, now if you just called up Extensive and said, hey, build me, or Fat Fabs, and told them, hey, you know, I'm going to drop my truck off and I'll come back and pick it up when it's cool. Like, okay, you bought that truck. But if your hands are in it, I don't really care, you know, whether it's the final bolt, the final assembly, or whatnot. I mean, it's still your ideas. You know, it's still, you were involved in it.
Yeah, because like what we're doing now, like, it's in Alabama. I'm not going to Alabama, you know. But I personally just don't have time to touch anything. I mean, sometimes I don't even have time to change my own oil. You know, I've literally been on the road for the past 3 weeks. You know, got back late Sunday night and trying to catch up. You know, it's just busy. You know what I mean? Especially with show time.
Trust me, we get it. I ran myself ragged and ended up having to take a couple of days off of work because I exhausted myself trying to do too much, because we're still trying to get cars together. And, you know, financially, I can't take it and go, hey, go build this car for me. So I got to figure it out. I got to sell shit to make money to do stuff. You know, I'm not building the chassis for the Model A. Bowling Brothers builds thousands of chassis a year, and they'll build me one too. But, you know, we went up to I drug Ashley up. She fortunately has an at-home job, so she can work anywhere. I drug her up, and she worked in a hotel for 2 days, and I went to the Moultrie swap meet for 3 days. And then we come back, went to a car show on our way home, and then went to Webster in the new location. By Sunday night, I was exhausted. You know, it's overdone. Plus, I tried to work on my shit while there's still a little bit of daylight. Let me go work on something. All right, we got back from the show. Okay, well, that means I can work on something. You know, you have to give yourself a break, or you're going to get burnt out and you're going to hate this. I mean, even if you don't, you're still going to hate this every once in a while.
Don't have the luxury of you guys being able to call out.
Well, fortunately, my job allows for some of it, but I'm out of time now. So
it's only April, May now. Yeah, it's May.
Yeah, I spent a week and a half in the hospital, so
shouldn't count.
It does, though.
It's always nice.
So, yeah, if I don't go to work, I don't get paid now. But, you know, and it is what it is. I would like to do something with cars full time, but I'm not to that point yet.
Gotcha.
So there was
Let
something
me
else.
ask you a question. Do you have Ashley's mic on mute? She's been quiet. Oh,
Usually when we have a guest, she is kind of quiet.
what's your favorite car, Ashley?
Oh, shoot. You're going to have to answer this for me.
63,
'Cause that-
63 to 66.
Okay.
You-
What did you just say? I'm so
63 to
flustered.
66.
63 to 66. C10.
Yep.
Okay. You should just answer for me.
She likes the simple C10 builds.
Okay.
Fleet sides.
Nothing wrong with that. That's hard work to get that sheet metal straight.
But we cater more, or we lean more towards survivors. So if there's a little wave in it, that means Chevrolet must have wanted it there. But
Like it. I just figured I'd pick on you a little bit, see what I'm talking.
you can either drive them or you can show them. So,
You can do both.
if you get a real high quality build, it's hard to drive them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, I would still be that guy. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was like, "Oh yeah," he was at the Grand National Road Store, and he made it inside. And I was like, "What's the first thing you did when it was done?" He's like, "It can never go back again." And I was like, "Yeah, that sucks." And he's like, "Yeah." So we went out in the parking lot and did a burnout, and then I drove it home. And I was like, "Awesome! Like, you're the guy." He's like, because it's done. Like, once you go there once, that car can never go back again because it's no longer an innovative. That's the one thing I like about mini trucks. You can show a mini truck or a full size, custom truck at a whole bunch of shows, and everybody's still excited every time it shows up.
For sure. So my buddy Dave over in Orlando, he owns Crew Cut.
Okay.
And he was able to buy that from Gas Monkey when they overhauled it or refurbed it, whatever you want to call it. And he's taking it to mini nights every year, and everybody's like, "I just love seeing this truck."
Ashley
And
saw
he
it
was
at Turkey.
Yep, was there too.
The green crew
Um,
cab with the cutoff roof, the Roadster. Dually with, looks like SUV interior.
I think I remember.
Does it have third row?
It's got third row. It might have a fourth right now, but yeah, it's like a limo.
Yeah. It was
But
parked
it's
next
like
to
the gr-
Bo's Model A, the Rat Rod Model A.
Oh,
What's great about that is he, as a kid, like he was in California when this guy Sean was at the shop building that truck. So like he was always into that truck. So when he had a chance to buy it, he scooped it up.
Oh, definitely. Oh, and that truck's been around for a while. I mean, that truck was built a while ago. I mean, it's been through a bunch of reiterations, but I mean, that was in trucking probably back when I was in high school. I mean, that truck's been together for a while.
Late 90s.
So before
I
I
think it
was in high school.
It's long in high school. You know Bo?
Yeah.
Bo pretty well. That's a great guy right there.
Yep. I knew his dad.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too.
Yeah. So, Bo lives 5 minutes from us.
He's doing he's done this every year. He makes our best of trophies.
Oh, okay. I knew that. We just talked about that, and I completely spaced it till you just said that. Yeah, we had a little That was the local car show that we hit on the way back from Moultrie. Was he's doing real estate now, and his broker or whatever put on the car show. But yeah, I know Bo. I love his C10. I wish he'd get it back out.
Sure. I think it was nice back in the day. I love that thing.
I guess he's building a frame, because I guess there's a lot of, well, when you're getting ready for a show and it's got to go. So, I'll do this to make it go, and then I'll fix it when I get home, and then you never fix it. And then the next show comes and you need something else done, so you do it. And now there's a lot of Band-Aids and stitch work, but it always showed good.
I haven't seen that thing in years.
It's still tucked in his garage, he says.
Yeah.
But
I still don't mind drive around the Model A he's got, right?
yeah, his dad's Model A.
Went for a couple cruises in that thing with him. That thing is awesome. I love the little, where the crystal door handles to get in.
Yeah, that motor that's on that car was actually on one of either Bo or Benny's airboat, and they detuned it to put it on the street, and that car is still ridiculous.
It's stupid.
Yeah, I remember we were at Beef O'Brady's, and here comes Benny driving by, and he's probably rolling 45, 50, and just stomps it and lights both tires into. I'm like, that's awesome.
Josh Rowan, he's bringing his.
I'm
white Suburban.
excited to see that truck. That was the main one I was referencing when he revealed that at Mini Nats. I was like, dang, I really wish I was there. I really want to see that build in person.
Right beside my vendor booth, actually.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, there was a couple people that were at Mini Nats that said they were coming to this show, and I was like, hell yeah. Because right now, I mean, we're still trying to get this get traction. I mean, we have a decent, the supporters that we have are very good. We appreciate everybody, but I would like to get out to more shows and stuff like that. And, definitely promote the shows, especially ones that are right down the road from us. I mean, Made of Steel's 30 minutes down the road. I could limp at least one of our cars there if I have to.
Yeah, we had to move it, but maybe it's for the better. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, the Webster Swap Meet moved to Brooksville, and they killed it their first month. So hopefully y'all have the same.
Where'd they move it to?
Right next to 75. What's it? The Love Park or something? Yeah, Classic Park. But yeah, last month was the first month they were there, and me and Dad went, and I was expecting the same turnout they've been having in Bushnell, 5 or 6 show cars, half as many vendors as they've had. We come over the hill, and I was like, that can't be that can't be the swap meet. We made a wrong turn or something. They added 3 rows of vendor spots day of, because people were pulling in. They probably had 30 or 40 show cars, 40 or probably 20 car corral. I mean, they did good. I was like, holy, yay, it's back. Because I remember going to that show when I was tiny with my dad, and that's how it was. It was good to see that the car community kind of coming back. And that's why we started this, was because I drive around the county every day, and I see these cars out, but then you go to a car show or a cruise-in or a park and chill or whatever you want to call them, and there's one guy. I mean, even my dad, he bought a 34 pickup truck, and the guy's got 6 cars. I've never seen one of them on the road, but he tells me he drives them all the time. And I'm like, okay. So then we started a cruise. We have a cruise on the third Sunday of every month. I'm fat. I like food. So we go get food in our cars, and hasn't been to one yet. I'm like, well, come on, man. Like, get your car out, drive it, enjoy it. Like, if my rusty bucket of bolts will make it, I promise all of y'all stuff will too. I promise.
There's a bunch of people like Eric Mosley and Vic Figueroa from Severed Ties. Like, there's a bunch of guys kind of over in that Oldsmar, West Tampa area that are just like, hey, man, let's cruise. Let's get together. Let's cruise our shit. Like, let's drive it. Let's get together. Do what it's meant to be, And I love those kind of attitudes, because you build your stuff to drive it. You don't want to build it just to stuff it in the garage until you trailer it to the next show. You build it and enjoy it.
I have a trailer to pick up projects. I don't like putting my stuff on trailers.
Yeah, but like the shows I would go to, like I'd have to like.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it's an out of state show, I'm putting it on a trailer, unless the guy that I bought the 32 from, that I've became good friends with, he wants to drive to Lone Star Showdown. He wants to cruise the hot rods from here to Texas to Austin for the Lone Star Showdown, and I'm like, I'm game with that.
Lone Star Roundup.
Yeah, Lone Star Roundup. I'm sorry, not LST.
I was like, that's a long drive. It's still a long drive, but I got some good friends of mine, Matt and Naomi. They're always at that show, and they love it.
Yeah, we're going out in September. That's actually the Ryland Strong car show for a podcast that helped us get going, the Hometown Hot Rodder. When we started, they were like, hey, y'all are doing exactly what we tried to do that we couldn't do because we can't keep it PG and focused on cars. So we'll help you get started. So they helped us, and they're doing a show with Ryland Strong, and we're going out there for my birthday. So I got a lot of work to do on a Model A to get it ready for September, because I keep adding shows that Texas.
I don't know.
Oh, golly.
From experience, it's so hard to get something together when you're heavily involved with going to shows, and even though like this podcast is something that you like doing or that you love doing, but it just takes a lot out of building stuff, right? And it becomes work. Even though you love it, it becomes work, and it's so hard to just get stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely. But the benefit that I see with the podcast, and kind of the whole reason, yes sir, the whole reason that we started it was because there is that disconnect between the generation that is already into cars and then the younger generation that kind of wants to be into cars, but they either don't know how, or they don't understand that you don't have to start with a badass, body dropped, show truck, or a 60s Cadillac or a Slab, or, you don't have to start with that. It's okay to start with a static S10 on 18s.
Yeah, learn how to drive the stuff, how to put in work. Go get you $1,000 truck that you're not going to be afraid to burn down if you do some wrong wiring.
Oh, and also,
obviously, now, but
yeah, but growing, like when I was in high school, Bo's a little older than me, so that wasn't the friend group I was in, but I know his friend group, and then there's a group between us and then ours. It was always like, he's a pretty good welder, he's pretty good at this, he's pretty good at that, his dad has a paint booth, so we all kind of like when your truck got to this stage, it migrated over there, but we were broke, so we didn't have, like, we couldn't take a truck off the road, so we were still driving it in between doing stuff or trying to drive it, or go pick your buddy up because you didn't get the bags on last night. You know, and
I'm making out walking around all the time.
you're good, bud. You know, like, and that's what I've shared it a couple of times on the page. Like, we need to get back to 4 or 5 buddies hanging out in the garage working on shit. You know, putting your minds together and building something cool.
Problem is now you get 4 or 5 buddies back in the garage, you know, and you get 24, 36 beers down, and then you're just 4 buddies in the garage.
Well, there's worse places to hang out.
Yeah. Like I said, think of a few of them.
I mean, at least if it's 4 of your buddies in the garage, you don't have to worry about any fights breaking out.
That's usually when the fights break out.
Yeah, but they're with your buddies. It's not the guy at the bar that had 14 beers before you got there.
Well, that's true.
And it's definitely cheaper to drink at home.
Yeah, it is. I don't drink at home much anymore. My wife's actually been sober for a year and 4 months now. So,
Awesome.
You know, that's taken mine down from, you know, full go to about, might have 5 beers a week if I'm lucky. And last week was my birthday, so I may have had about 20 beers last week, but
It averages out to 5.
yeah, pretty much. I didn't drink shit hardly before then.
So before we hop off of here, is there anyone that you need to thank or shout out?
I have a lot of people to thank. I want to thank my partners for coming on, believing in me, believing in the vision, and helping me put together this event. That'd be Keith from Fat Tanks Body, John from Road Car Audio, Rigo from Suspension Store. Without those guys, I mean, this show wouldn't. I don't think it would be as successful as it is today. You know, so I mean, it kind of like it takes a village to raise the kids. You know, it takes a village to do something like this. You know, all our staff, our title sponsor, Down for Sound, and Wolf Ram Audio. I mean, there's a lot. Livewire Audios, a wrist stage sponsor with Cruise Customs. I mean, there's. I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, that's a whole big list to read.
Okay.
So, you know, we have a lot of great companies that want to support us. They enjoy what we do. They sponsor the show. They help us out with it. A lot more great people and great companies donate stuff for the raffles, Benefit Kids Cancer Foundation. You know, I'm just so thankful for everybody believing in us and what we're doing, you know, and just trying to provide you guys with a great product.
Yeah, I was gonna try to read it off your picture, but I can't.
Yeah. There's a lot. You want me to go through the list?
No, you're good, man.
Yeah, I can go through it. I just didn't want to. I didn't know what kind of.
Man, I got all night. It's dark. I can't go work on nothing now.
Yeah. So there we go. So we'll go through the list. Down for Sound Car Audio, or Down for Sound Shop. I'm sorry. Wolf Ram Audio. AccuAir, Axe Wheels, Mild to Wild Custom Accessories, Lowrider Depot, Team at Hertz, Collins Lemonade, I said those, JS Alternators, Print Shack, Pirate Customs, Team Billet, Ballistic Powder Coating, Tony's Total Performance, Billet Thrills, Mosley Heating and Air, Sound Pressure Car Audio, Team Deadbeats, Team Tupo, Dysfunctional, Southern Sounds, Team Ain't Loud, Low Life Customs, Street Trucks, mini trucking, team heavyweight, SOCA, Audio Arena, Base Wars, Mecca, ACCL, IASCA, who else? Hot Rides Mag, 50/50 Photography. Man, we just added somewhere. LED Creations. We just added those guys last week. Yeah, I think I nailed them all right there.
Well, we have to thank Swap It Fast, connecting buyers with sellers. The more buyers that get signed up, more sellers that get signed up, more sellers that get signed up, more buyers there'll be. We'll be able to find them parts. Go give them a follow and check it out.
And don't forget about Throttle Attic. Using the code word Hot Rod, you get to save 15% off.
Awesome. And I want to thank every single person that likes and supports us. We really do appreciate everybody. And we're looking to make this big. We look forward to seeing you at the show. Mm-hmm. And again, for anybody that didn't miss it or missed it in the first part of that, the show is May 17th through the 19th. Gates open at 5 on Friday.
Yes, 5 on Friday. Friday show hours are 5 to 10. Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's at the Hernando County Fairgrounds in Brooksville, right off of Broad Street, just south of town.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Well, till next time, get out and drive your shit, guys.
See ya.
Later.